Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today we're embarking on quite an extraordinary journey. It's not just into art, but really into the architecture of how we perceive the world, our source. It's a fascinating artist's journal entry. It's titled Foundation Code, and it's written by Northwind Illustrations.
That's right.
And look, this isn't just a chat about visuals. We're talking about a really profound exploration of perspective, identity, and, well, the surprising meaning you can find in genuine simplicity.
Yeah.
Our mission, really, is to excavate the rich insights within this entry, to understand how a single, pretty unassuming letter can unlock a whole universe of thought.
It's quite something.
Okay, let's unpack this.
What's truly compelling here, I think, is Northwind Illustrations' ability to take what feels like a very personal reflection
Right.
and turn it into this universal meditation on perception and self. It's fascinating.
It is.
This journal entry, it starts from something incredibly simple. Just a single lowercase letter
Yeah.
elevates it into, well, a profound philosophical inquiry.
Yeah.
So we'll explore how this seemingly simple visual design doesn't just reflect complex themes, it actually articulates them. Themes about how we see the world.
Yeah.
And maybe more importantly, how we see ourselves in it.
Yeah.
It's really a testament, isn't it, to the idea that sometimes the most profound revelations come from looking at something familiar.
With completely new eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
And what an origin story. The journey into Foundation Code, it literally begins with something we all just take for granted.
The letter I.
A humble lowercase letter I. I mean, a character we see constantly, right? Almost invisible sometimes because it's everywhere.
Sure.
But for Northwind Illustrations, it became this powerful, almost like a totemic symbol.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
The artist saw it not just as, a piece of type,
Right.
but as this emblem of identity, of quiet stillness, and quite literally of sight.
That connection is key.
Just think about that for a second. This tiny little stroke and a dot, holding so much symbolic weight. Here's where it gets really interesting for me. How does something so basic, so fundamental, spark a whole artwork, an entire philosophical line of thought?
Well, it's such an ingenious starting point because it forces you, like you said, beyond just recognizing it.
Yeah.
That initial observation, just looking at the eye, it pushed Northwind Illustrations into asking deeper questions like, what do we really see?
Right, the core of it.
And how much is our perception shaped by our own internal eye, that sense of self?
Ah, the eye within the eye.
Exactly. That's where your subjective self, your identity, gets tangled up with what seems like objective observation.
Okay.
And the artist mentions how the word eyes just sort of popped up during this whole process,
Interesting.
which is this beautiful linguistic blend, isn't it? External perception, the eyes, and that internal singular I. It's a powerful thought that the I isn't just a letter. It's like a crucial piece of our whole perceptual system. How we see the outside world and how we see our inner world too.
That's deep.
And what's also fascinating reading the journal is seeing the artist's process, this visual journaling, sketching variation after variation of the eye.
Constantly changing it.
Yeah, twisting it, turning it upside down, sideways. Each little change, each mark became a way to express a different feeling or a different viewpoint, almost like a visual stream of consciousness.
Like thinking on paper.
Precisely. And it makes you wonder, doesn't it? How often do we just glance at something simple
All the time.
and completely miss its symbolic depth just because we haven't stopped to really engage with it, to look closely?
That's such a critical point. It really challenges us to, I guess, cultivate a deeper way of seeing. Makes you wonder what else we're missing every day. So from this really personal, inward-looking exploration of the letter I, Northwind Illustrations then distills these ideas into the actual artwork, Foundation Code.
Right. The finished piece.
Now, if you try to picture it, imagine a grid. It's structured, but it's also incredibly dynamic.
Okay.
It's filled with these stylized eye forms, but here's the key. Each one is rendered with deliberate, almost painterly variation.
Not just copies.
Exactly. The journal notes really emphasize that each figure has its own unique character. You might see some that are blurred, like a fleeting thought maybe.
Or a memory. Yeah.
Others are bold, assertive, demanding attention, and then some are sort of half erased, suggesting ambiguity or something forgotten, perhaps.
Interesting layering of presence.
And it's not random. It directly echoes the sheer diversity of individual perspectives the artist was exploring. So the canvas doesn't just display these forms, it feels like it breathes with all these different viewpoints, all held together within this repeated shape. It feels less like a static picture and more like a vibrant, ongoing conversation.
And if we zoom out a bit, look at the bigger picture, you can really see how those visual choices aren't just about looking good, are they?
No, not at all.
They are quite literally foundational to the message itself.
Right, like the colors.
Exactly, the color palette. It's not just random colors thrown together. Northwind Illustrations deliberately uses primary tones, red, yellow, blue.
The basics.
And their direct offspring, the secondary tones, green, orange, purple. The journal explains these aren't just colors. They represent fundamental elements. In art, yes, but also in how identity is formed.
Ah, like building blocks.
Precisely. The initial components from which all other colors, and maybe all other perceptions, come from. It shows a real understanding of color theory, not just technically, but as a symbolic language.
Okay, I see that.
And then think about the feeling, the emotional resonance Northwind Illustrations describes. The piece is meant to evoke vibrancy without chaos.
Controlled energy.
Yes. There's this undeniable energy, this dynamic tension, but it's held within that structured grid so it doesn't just become visual noise.
Right.
There's also this sense of urban layering, like you might see on an old city wall. Layers of graffiti telling stories over time.
Accumulated experience.
It gets a lived experience, maybe a dialogue between different voices or perspectives. And perhaps the most intriguing description. The artist calls it restless order.
Restless order. I like that.
It's not static, is it? It actively invites you, the viewer, not just to look, but to really interpret what you're seeing. It pushes you past just passively observing.
Into active engagement.
Exactly. Every visual choice here, the line, the color, the composition, it all deeply reinforces the conceptual weight and the questions the artist is asking.
Restless order. That phrase really does capture that dynamic tension, doesn't it?
It does.
It perfectly connects the visual feel with those deeper intellectual questions. Which brings us right to the core conceptual themes that Foundation Code is really trying to explore.
Yeah, the heart of it.
The first one, and maybe the central idea, is this powerful concept that vision is shaped by identity. It's that fascinating link we mentioned, the external eye and the internal eye, our personal lens. Our life experiences, our background, our very sense of self. It deeply affects not just what we look at, but how we actually perceive and make sense of the world.
Absolutely. There's no purely objective view.
It's a reminder that every act of seeing is filtered through who we are.
Precisely. And building on that, the artwork explores a second really powerful theme. Repetition reveals variation.
Okay, tell me more about that.
Well, at first glance, you might just see a grid of eyes, right? Looks uniform.
Maybe, yeah.
But the journal notes really stress that the deeper you look, the more you let your eyes linger. The more subtle but distinct differences you start to notice in each one.
Ah, so it rewards closer looking.
Exactly. It challenges our tendency to just skim the surface. It urges us to engage more deeply and see the nuances hiding underneath. It's kind of a metaphor for life itself, isn't it?
Oh, so?
Well, what seems uniform or boring at first often reveals a whole universe of unique details and individual stories if you just pay closer attention.
That's true, like people even.
Exactly. Think about maybe Andy Warhol's repetitions. His goal might have been about mass production, maybe desensitization.
Sure.
But here, Northwind Illustrations uses a similar visual trick, repetition, but turns the focus inward. It's about the observer's journey of discovery within that repetition.
Okay. Subtle but important difference.
And then there's a third pillar, colors as metaphor. We touched on it, but the use of primary and secondary colors isn't just pretty, it's symbolic.
Right, the building blocks again.
It illustrates how foundational ideas, basic experiences, they blend and combine to form new expressions, new understandings, much like our own life experiences add up and reshape how we see the world.
Like mixing paints to get new shades?
Precisely. Different colors combine to make entirely new ones, just like our different experiences merge to create our unique perspective. This artwork really pushes us to re-examine what we think we know.
Yeah.
And to dig much deeper than just the surface level.
It's truly amazing how many layers Northwind Illustrations managed to pack into what started as such a simple idea.
It really is.
And the artist's own reflection in the journal entry just crystallizes it all perfectly, brings it into sharp focus.
Yeah.
They wrote, What began as a minimalist sketch became a reflection on how we're all interpreting the world differently, even when we're looking at the same thing. That's such a profound statement on subjectivity, right?
Absolutely. The core of it.
And then this powerful concluding thought: a single letter, a dot, a shape repeated across color and form. This was never just about design, it was about seeing.
Wow.
It just powerfully reinforces that idea that really deep meaning, real insight, often hides in the simplest things. Like, we just cultivate the patience and the curiosity to truly look, to perceive.
Yeah.
So what does this mean for you, the listener? Beyond the artwork itself, how do we take this insight, into our own lives?
Well, it's a beautiful example of how an artist's personal, quiet, deep dive can actually blossom into something that invites really broad interpretation and even practical application.
How so? Application?
Yeah, this deeply conceptual piece, Foundation Code, it isn't just stuck in theory, it has very real, tangible forms.
Okay.
The journal notes mentioned its first medium was ink on paper. Then it was digitally adapted into a repeating pattern.
Right.
And this isn't just for a gallery. It's actually being used right now as canvas wall art and even art cushions in the Northwind collection.
Wow, so you can have it in your home.
Exactly. Literally bringing these themes of perception and identity right into your living space. And the journal also mentions its potential for textile design.
Like fabrics.
Yeah, meaning these intricate, thought-provoking patterns could end up on fabrics, clothes we wear, furniture, maybe even architectural elements.
That's amazing. From a single letter I.
It's a wonderful sort of organic progression, isn't it?
Yeah.
From a deeply personal artistic exploration to something tangible, accessible, shareable. It lets others not just appreciate the look, but actively engage with those powerful themes: perception, identity, the nuance of reality, right in their daily lives. It becomes this constant, gentle nudge to look closer.
And what an illuminating journey it's been, seriously. From the almost invisible simplicity of just one lowercase letter,
Yeah.
seen with fresh eyes, to this complex, layered artwork that really makes you question, maybe even reshape, how you see and understand the world.
That's the power of it.
Northwind Illustrations gives us this powerful reminder, doesn't it?
Yeah.
About the immense potential for finding deep meaning in what seems at first like the most unassuming things.
Absolutely.
It's just a compelling testament that sometimes the smallest spark of curiosity, if you nurture it, can ignite the most expansive and really transformative insights.
So as you go about your own day, maybe pause for a moment. Consider the foundation code of your own reality. If a simple eye can hold a whole universe of identity and perspective, what seemingly ordinary detail in your life might be holding some extraordinary but currently unseen truth?
That's a great question to ponder.
It's about cultivating that same intense curiosity, that scrutinizing gaze that Northwind Illustrations brought to a simple letter. What small, overlooked thing in your world is just waiting for you to truly see it?
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us on this exploration into Foundation Code. We really hope you'll reflect on these insights from Northwind Illustrations and maybe continuously challenge yourself to look deeper into the world around you, because honestly, you never know what profound meanings might be hiding right there in plain sight, just waiting for your discerning eye.
Keep looking.
Until next time, keep exploring and keep seeing.